Hello and welcome to New Central Television. I am Likon Obanjo. The top stories at this hour. Islamic movement in Nigeria accuses security forces of human rights violations during its procession. President Tinubu receives Prime Minister of St. Kitts at State House in Abuja. Kenyan United Nations soldier killed in ambush in southeastern Central African Republic. Details to come your way shortly. Let's begin with security matters. Islamic movement in Nigeria, also known as the Shiites, has accused security forces of human rights violations during its procession last Friday in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Addressing journalists in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, the group denied reports of confrontation, insisting that there was no provocation from its members to warrant the actions of security operatives. They alleged that 6 of their members were killed, over 380 detained, and that some corpses remain unaccounted for. The group is now demanding the immediate release of its members and the bodies of those allegedly killed.
We may also wish to state here that, similar to what we learned is happening in Israel and Palestine, when they attack Palestinians, they take away the dead bodies. We have been reliably informed that, and it's well known to the world, that they do harvest their organs. Right now, Israel is directly behind this attack that happened here in this city yesterday. So, and we have our dead bodies with them. We will therefore demand the release of our bodies and a thorough examination of their bodies to make sure that no organ has been harvested from any of our brothers, and this we will not condemn. In view of the foregoing, we are demanding for 1, unconditional release of all that have been arrested in connection with the 2025 Abuja International Coast Day procession held on the 28th of March 2025. We are also demanding the prosecution of those responsible for the killings. Certainly, somebody must have given the order, and some people, non-people have been, commissioned to carry out the killings. We therefore demand that these people should be fished out and punished accordingly, because nobody has any right to just take any gun, any arm and just kill anybody just because he's exercising his fundamental human right.
Let's also tell you that President Bola Tinubu has condemned the murder of traveling hunters intercepted by local vigilantes in the Uromi community of Esan North local government of Edo State. The president, who expressed shock at the dastardly act on Thursday, directed police and other security agencies to conduct swift and thorough investigations and punish suspected culprits. President Tinubu commiserated with the families of the affected victims and assured them that criminals would not be allowed to shed the blood of innocent Nigerians in vain. The president noted that jungle justice has no place in Nigeria, and all Nigerians have the freedom to move freely in any part of the country. To discuss this, we are joined by a public affairs analyst, Moses Idika. Mr. Moses, thank you so much for joining us on the news. Mr. Moses Idika, can you hear me? All right, we probably might reconnect with Mr. Moses Idika. We had him a short while ago, but then we'll bring him to talk about this later. Now, let's move on. Former Rivers State Head of Service, George Umweke, has denied claims from his wife, Florence, that he was kidnapped. In a video released on Saturday, Umweke clarified that he's safe in Abuja, where he voluntarily went to report to security agencies about the recent developments in Rivers State. He explained that he resigned as head of service earlier this week and dismissed his wife's claims, suggesting she had been misled. Weke emphasized that he's working in Abuja and is not under any duress. Florence, in an emotional video interview, expressed concern over her husband's safety, saying she was alarmed after watching a video interview.
And I say good morning, gentlemen of the press. I'm back to you this evening. My name is George Weke. I'm in Transcorp, Abuja. I came in here this morning from Port Harcourt to meet with security agencies to report myself and to report the things that are happening in the state that are making me to feel sick. Actually, I was head of service until Monday, the 4th, and I resigned because of things that are happening. So, after the press interview I granted, I just saw a video of my wife, trending, where they went to hold her and they fed her with all kinds of fallacies. They told her to be kidnapped. I want to clear this. I am not kidnapped. I am in Abuja. This is Transport Hotel, where I'm lodging. And they told her that I was kidnapped and she's crying, and they wrote a script for her to say all sorts of things. I want to put this straight. I am the head of service, and I'm on oath. My wife does not know the things that happen in my office. I don't discuss anything about office to her. It's only my domestic or social matters that we discuss. So that script they wrote for her is null and void. So I want to clear the air that I am safe, I'm fine, I'm in Abuja. But tomorrow morning, I intend to go to the security agencies to report myself. So my coming to Abuja was based on the fact that Abuja is where all the headquarters of security agencies are housed. So I came here and I think I'm safe here to make this report here, so they can investigate. And I'm saying that I'm on oath. If I allow any of those things, they will take me up. But I'm reporting exactly what I know and nothing but that.
In the meantime, suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara denied allegations leveled against him by a former head of service of the state, George Mweke, and is asking Nigerians to disregard them. Among the accusations Mweke leveled against Fubara was that of conniving with militants to blow up oil pipelines in the state amid the political crisis rocking Rivers. But Fubara, in a statement signed personally early on Saturday, described Mweke's comments as laughable. The governor said that Mweke has been compromised and whatever he's saying is only aimed at fulfilling his promise to those who may have paid or coerced him to lie. To discuss this development in Rivers State, we are joined by a former Commissioner for Information and Communications in Rivers State, Odona Onwoke. Mr. Onwoke, thank you so much for joining us on the news. And can you please unmute yourself? Just unmute your device and please say something so we can confirm audio from your end.
I said, thanks for having me.
All right, good. Now, some video analysts say there is something unsettling about the footages associated with Mweke, where he made allegations, particularly against Fubara. Could he be peddling lies under duress, or there is an iota of truth in his claims?
I think that we have all seen the video, the voices behind the scene, the unsettled manner of citizen Mweke, who was supposed to address the press in a hotel room. And of course, the body language, when you look at the first video and listen to the prompt things that are coming from behind the scene, where somebody is saying you should speak up loudly in his native language. And you can tell that all of this are still managed. And of course, the former head of service, in some manner, resigned his position after the sole administrator came calling. And thereafter, disappeared. Because if we were to go by the account of his wife, he said a friend had called him and he had to leave Abuja. And after arriving at Abuja, the next thing we see him is a hotel room and where people are saying action. And God, I don't know whether we are trying to make a movie. But honestly, the content of that video suggests that some people
okay, Mr. Odona Onwoke,
elaborate missing chemicals, trying to call a dog a bad name.
Mr. Odona Onwoke, We might need to discontinue with this conversation because of the poor audio quality from your end. But this is a matter that we're going to stay on, and hopefully we might be able to just bring you back on, probably some other time, to get your perspective on this. But then we appreciate your contribution on it. Now we go back to the story around the mob attack incidents that actually resulted in the death of about 16 hunters who were actually, wrongly profiled as kidnappers in Edo State. And this is a situation that we are going to be dwelling on now, even as we have a guest that will be talking to us on this. But then we quickly go on a short break, and when we return, we'll bring you more details on the news. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. In a remarkable display of religious harmony and political solidarity, the Obedience Movement in Lagos hosted a joint iftar and Lent feast, bringing together Muslims and Christians to foster unity and togetherness. The event took place in the heart of Lagos. It saw members of the movement gathering to break their fast and share a meal in the spirit of love and inclusivity. News Central's Israel Iferobo was there and now reports.
But I just believe that the time is getting close.
Attendees at the gathering expressed their joy at the initiative, emphasizing the need for continued cooperation among different religious groups. Many participants highlighted how the event symbolized a commitment to peace and understanding.
Elijah, you're welcome.
While speaking at the event, Director General, National Coordinator, Obedient Movement expressed the importance of the occasion.
To pray for Nigeria and while we break our fast together as both Muslims and Christians. This is very important to us. This is a rounding up of the whole month program that we've gone throughout the whole region of the Federal Republic. There's no region that has not been touched with this feeding program of His Excellency Peter Gregory Obi.
Tanko also shared hopes for a new Nigeria where everyone will work together to move the country forward irrespective of political affiliation and tribal bias.
I'm a Kano man, a proud Kano man. I'm supporting Peter Obi, who is from the southeastern part of the country. That speaks in volume. As long as I believe we are all traded and working together, we are married, intermarried. A Yoruba man has married a Hausa woman. An Igbo man has married a Yoruba woman. A Delta person has married a Delta, maybe a Yoruba man or an Ibibio woman. And we are intertwined together. So whether we like it or not, we cannot divide those children. Those children remain Nigeria. Nigeria will remain as one by the grace of God.
So we are gathered here to have a good time between the Christians and the Muslims to break the fast together. It's a unique thing to see in our society of today. In our society where some politicians have decided to divide us, through religion and tribe. But we are here to say that is not who we are. We are Nigerians. We are one. And of course, we are guided by the principles of love, of unity, progress. And, that is why the Obedient Movement has gathered here today to have the iftar and, of course, the breaking of fast together amongst the Christians and the Muslim brothers.
An interactive session was also held between the leaders of the Obedient Movement and its members. During the session, participants engaged in discussions about strategies and political engagements as the 2027 elections approach.
2027 is going to be a different ballgame. We will be there in our polling units to secure our votes and to protect our votes.
I'll be very happy with it. I want everybody in Lagos and all Nigeria, not only Lagos, let them come out and support the candidates.
Today's event is just us coming together as a people of Nigerians first and across faith. Comes together to celebrate with our Muslim brothers and sisters.
Following the discussions, participants proceeded to a nearby mosque for prayers, further underscoring the interfaith unity that the event sought to promote. The highlight of the day was the communal breaking of fast, where Muslims ended their day-long Ramadan fast while Christians joined in the feast, symbolizing unity and shared humanity. In Lagos, for News Central, Israel Iferobo.
Away from that, as Muslims worldwide prepare to celebrate Eid al-Fitr, families in Katsina are facing a bittersweet reality. Rising food prices are forcing many to scale back their Salah festivities. And our correspondent, Jamil Mabai, reports from the state's largest market in Katsina.
Families in Katsina are deep in preparations for Salah, which is celebrated by Muslims worldwide to mark the end of the Ramadan, a period of fasting by the faithful for spiritual rejuvenation. Families and friends gather to feast, exchange gifts, and celebrate the end of Ramadan. This festivity is coming at a time when many Nigerians are lamenting the harsh economic conditions in the country.
Da mutane ba kudi ga hannunsu, mutane suna kukan rashin kudi, haka ga an yi alabashi. Amma wallahi wani ba mata kasa yake ba, wani ta abin da zai ma yaran shi hidima sallah yake. Dan dai ta zama dole, sai a zo wanda zai ne sai 5 zai isa 2, wanda zai ne sai 3 zai sai 1. Dan bar kazan da ka samu naira 7,000 wai 5,000 yanzu ko ta 7,000. Har samu bara 4,000 ko ta 6,000. Dan an samu kari saboda kukan abincinta. Duk abin da mukiyayen ke kuka abinci. Ga dai abinci ya rage kuɗi na mutane, amma shi abinci kaza hawa yake.
Aisha says she has never witnessed something like this. Only few people can be seen on the eve of Salah celebration at the largest market in Katsina.
Da ya ga yanayin da muke ciki yanzu to ya dai san ana dai sallah za a ce, amma idan a da ne misali kwallasa da ta wuce zaka ga yanayin hada-hadan mutane ma kawai ya ragu a kasuwa saboda yanayin da mutane suka ciki, wasu ba su da kuɗi.
Despite a slight drop in the price of some staples, essentials like beef and chicken remain expensive.
Gaskiya yanzu dai nama bid na 1,000 na siya, amma dai gaskiya ba wani sauki. Kai to da sauki dai, amma dai da dai ya fi sauki da kama abun ya zo da sauki, amma yanzu kuma abun sai a hankali. Kayan miya ma da ka zo siya ma da tsada yayi yawa.
Yanzu dai a zamani a lokaci abinda dai yanzu ake a wani tiyace ta dai 40,000. Tiya ɗaya na citta 40,000. Kamar shekara ɗaya da ta wuce abinda ake sayar tiya citta duka 8,000 ma. Shekara ɗaya azumin da muka wuce na bara 8,000 ake sayar tiya citta. Yanzu 40,000 take.
The reality is that many families are having to make tough decisions between tradition and affordability. In Katsina, for News Central, I am Jamil Mabai.
Now, President Bola Tinubu on Saturday said Nigeria was set to deepen its economic partnership with St. Kitts and Nevis with our focus on key sectors including trade, energy and agriculture. Speaking during a meeting with the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Terence Michael Drew, at the State House in Abuja, President Tinubu emphasized the importance of strengthening bilateral relations and exploring mutual opportunities between Africa and the Caribbean. The meeting, held on the sidelines of an investment summit in Abuja, marks a significant step in Nigeria's push to forge stronger economic and diplomatic ties beyond the continent.
We came here from St. Kitts and Nevis, the CARICOM, the Caribbean, and we are seeking to establish greater ties between the Caribbean and our African brothers and sisters, as we call it, the motherland. And so we have been doing a number of things, and so I wanted to come here. And this time I came on an investment summit, trying to inspire our people here to come to the Caribbean to invest so that we can, of course, work together closer as a region, as 2 regions, but really we are all connected by blood.
Specifically, which areas are you looking at to invest in or to cooperate with Nigeria?
So I'm looking at the area of agriculture and food security. And as Mr. President said, food sovereignty is quite important. And so we have contacted a number of firms here in Nigeria to consider coming to St. Kitts and Nevis or the wider Caribbean. We are looking at energy as well as logistics and transport and trade. And so we have discussed a number of other areas, areas of education and so forth. But there are areas within those ones that I just mentioned that we are seeking at this particular time.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Yes.
It's excellent. Very great opportunity for Africa to, connect widely, and Nigeria in particular, to strengthen bilateral relations and examine and exploit all the economic opportunities that is available to all so that I can achieve more for ourselves.
Now, earlier on the news, we told you that President Bola Tinubu has condemned the barbaric act carried out by, of course, some people said to have been citizens of Uromi in Edo State and local vigilantes and hunters who were misprofiled as kidnappers. About 16 of them lost their lives. And now we are going to be talking to a political analyst or public affairs analyst, actually, Moses Idika, to actually share his thoughts on this. Mr. Idika, I think we can have some meaningful conversation at this time. Good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening.
All right, so jungle justice continues to thrive in Nigeria despite widespread outrage. What would you consider as underlying social, cultural, probably systemic pressures that's actually fueling this phenomenon?
Yeah, it's a very, I couldn't even watch the video. I saw some of the videos and it was such a gory sight. And my heart really goes out to the families of the victims of that barbaric act. That's what it was. And it goes on to show the value of life in Nigeria, because Nigeria, it seems that we don't seem to value life of human beings. You can't imagine that 16 persons are just taking and
all right, we actually apologize for that poor audio quality with Mr. Moses Idika. But then let's talk health now. Amidst Nigeria's continued challenge with air and environmental pollution, Iriakoro local government area in Ogun State adds to the increasing statistics as residents are still burdened with the after effects of the activities of a major player in the cement manufacturing industry situated in the host communities of Iriakoro and Akimbo, about 64 years since operations began. In this report, News Central's Aisha Salihu investigates the issues beneath this challenge, calling on authorities to do right by committing to a health approach in order to optimize health outcomes for all.
Iriakoro is a major destination for industrial plants, but beneath the surface of this easygoing community, a silent killer is taking hold. Air, environment, water and noise pollution, impacting the environment and human health in distinct ways. The cement industry that powers these towns is fueling a growing crisis that threatens the health and social well-being of the vulnerable population.
It's affecting us by blasting. They are blasting. When they are blast, it's vibrate the land that can cause earthquake. So that is why the buildings are cracking. The vibration, yes, is the causes.
Ìlera ó jẹ́ nǹkan tó jẹ́ kókó tó yẹ kí wọ́n bá mú ní ọ̀kúnkúndùn. Ṣé tí yín sì tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo ìmú gan ẹlòmíì gan nílùú kò yẹ kó tí ì darúgbó tó ti máa darúgbó pàjáwìrì àpàpàǹdodo lórí kíní air pollution wọn tó máa ń dust tó máa ń káàkiri kò síbi tí ò kí ń dé irú bá ṣe wà bí ìwà yìí sìn ó jẹ́ ìmú gan ẹlòmíì gan kò yẹ kó tí ì kú tó yẹ mọ̀ pé tó bá ti fa dust símú ó máa tètè kú.
For 65-year-old Shakirat Oloyede, a native and resident of Iriakoro community, the air she breathes every day is a constant struggle. Shakirat has been living with some health conditions that worsen with the rising levels of air and environmental pollution in her neighborhood.
The thing where they happen is too much. Because the dust, they affect us. They affect our nose, mouth and eyes, and our chest. If anybody cough that time, now that dust, now it go bring out from the mouth. And when we are going to hospital to take care of ourselves, then go treat chest for cough, and the eyes, then they treat it for us. As they go to hospital, the money Now from my pocket, now they use to treat myself. Nobody they help me, give me money or support me.
The rapid industrialization, vehicle emissions, dilapidated road structure, and also carbon emission arising from the activities of the cement factory in a Ewekoro community have led to a decline in the air quality right here. There seem to be debates over the decades, but what is unclear is why the community refused to relocate after admitting the cement company suggested the option.
lóòótọ́ wọ́n sọ pé ká relocate a lè relocate nítorí pé kí ni ibi tá à ń gbégun ẹ̀ tún ṣe lè wá fẹ́ relocate wa ṣó ti yé sí àfi kẹ́ ẹ̀ tún ṣe náà tẹ́ bá tún ṣe la máa jọ jókòó gbogbo a máa jókòó ní village la máa sọ̀rọ̀ kó ya kí la ká ṣe kí ni assurance pé tá bá relocate tá bá lọ ṣé a máa rí nǹkan gbà mọ́ àbí báwo lè ṣe fẹ́ ṣe.
Ononode Monsuru, a youth representative who has lived in Ewekoro all his life, like many others, says all he wants from the ongoing deliberation is compensation for repairs on his building structure ahead of the rainy season.
So, waiting caused this thing. The major something is that because of the dust of the wako, of lavage, is making cake for the whole zinc, turn it to asbestos, which is not asbestos, it's only the zinc. So now all the zinc turned to asbestos. When rain is fall, we can't take the water. The water is very bad for us to take. So though Lafarge, they are trying their best, but we need their effort to continue to do it for us.
Experts worry that prolonged exposures to cement dust and mine blasts would affect the quality of life in the communities.
The particles are so tiny, because these ones we are seeing, there are ones you cannot even see. There are ones that are so tiny that can pass through your nostrils. Your nose have protection, have those hairs that can protect something heavy from passing through. But there are also some that are so tiny that they can pass through. You can start having asthma, you can start having bronchitis, start having lung diseases that is a factor to lung cancer. So if you calculate somebody that's 65 years or maybe 50 years of his life or her life has been exposed to this, so the quality of life will not be as good as someone that is not exposed to that.
As for the way forward,
the issue is this: whether they're legally or not or illegally, we have a duty towards them as a government. We have a social contract to protect the well-being of the people of the state. So they are part of the people we have to protect. So, but we have to do it cautiously. And if we have to apply moral suasion with Lafarge, we will do that. And if they have any convincing evidence to show that, look, they are right, let them come forward with it. I can tell you, we are here to protect them.
All efforts to get the multinational cement company, who has been mentioned as the key player in this air, water, environment and noise pollution allegations, to respond and state their stand, proved abortive, as they did not grant interviews after inquiries were sent. As the cement factory continues to exist in the host communities and status quo maintained, so too does the threat of air, environment, water and noise pollution on health outcomes. But with the right implementation of policies, better industrial practices and public awareness, it is possible to turn the tide. In Ewekoro, Ogun, for News Central, Aishat Salihu.
Let's now briefly return to our lead story on the clash between the proscribed Islamic movement in Nigeria and security operatives in Abuja, where the Federal Capital Territory Commissioner of Police, Ajawa Diwali, has now confirmed that the clash left 3 officers injured, one of whom later died at the National Hospital in Abuja. In a press statement made available to journalists, Adewale condemned the attack, vowing to bring all perpetrators to justice. He, however, urged residents to remain calm and report any suspicious activities to the police through the provided emergency contact numbers. Let's now go on a short break on the news. When we return, we look at stories from Africa. Do stay with us. A Kenyan United Nations soldier has been killed in an ambush in southeastern Central African Republic, the second of such death this year. The UN Special Representative in the country, Valentine Rugwabiza, has condemned the attack and urged authorities to identify those responsible. The latest killing comes less than 2 months after a Tunisian UN soldier was fatally shot in the north. MINUSCA, the UN peacekeeping mission, has lost around 150 personnel since its deployment in 2014. The mission, with 17,000 troops and police, has been working to support the local army in maintaining order. Now I'll tell you that Saudi Arabia has confirmed Sunday for the Eid al-Fitr celebration after the crescent of Shawwal was sighted on Saturday. The announcement was made on Araim's official Facebook page, a recognized platform for the global Muslim community. The statement confirmed that the sighting marks the beginning of the new Islamic month, signaling the end of Ramadan. The statement also read that the crescent moon for the month of Shawwal 1446 AH has been sighted in Saudi Arabia. Therefore, Eid al-Fitr will be celebrated on Sunday, March 30, 2025. With this confirmation, millions of Muslims worldwide have begun preparations for the festivities, which mark the conclusion of the holy month of fasting, prayer, and reflection. In the meantime, the streets of Damascus is currently buzzing with activities as Syrians prepare for Eid al-Fitr, the holy marking of the holiday of the end of the month of Ramadan. Residents flock to the bustling Al-Hamidiyya market, stocking up on traditional sweets and festive goods. Vendors reported an increase in shoppers, with families eager to celebrate despite economic hardships. The holiday, observed with prayers, feasts, and gatherings, has remained a cherished tradition for Syrians, even amid ongoing challenges. Many have expressed hope for better times as they embrace the spirit of Eid. Away from that, the death toll from a huge earthquake that hit Myanmar and Thailand passed 1,000 on Saturday as rescuers dug through the rubble of collapsed buildings in a desperate search for survivors. The shallow 7.7 magnitude quake struck northwest of the city of Staggering in central Myanmar in the early afternoon, followed minutes later by a 6.7 magnitude aftershock. The quake destroyed buildings, downed bridges, and buckled roads across swaths of Myanmar, with massive destruction seen in Mandalay, the country's second biggest city and home to more than 1.7 million people. At least 1,007 people were killed and nearly 2,400 injured in Myanmar, with 30 more missing, the junta said in a statement. Around 10 more deaths have been confirmed in Bangkok. Now, a Russian drone strike on the eastern Ukrainian city of Dnipro has killed 4 people and injured 23 others, causing widespread destruction. The attack has damaged a hotel, restaurant complex, apartment buildings, houses, garages, warehouses, an administrative building, and an educational institution. Fires have broken out but have since been extinguished. Regional Governor Serhiy Lysak confirmed the casualties and expressed condolences to families and the victims.
Первый взрыв, что подскочило, но зал выходит на ту сторону, поэтому полетели в кухне стекла, окна и в спальне. Вот, и потом второй, третий, и уже давай в коридор выбегать, и уже счет потеряла. А потом бегом до машины, вот машина стоит, а она, ну, слава богу, хоть завелась.
Люди не могли выйти с подъезда вообще, чтобы в убежище убежать. Потому что один за другим взрывалось все. Вон во дворе воронка по пояс, так что здесь такое творилось.
Как раз прильот посеред городу. І оце воно сюди пішло, і все загорілося. От, у мене одна моя жінка була вдома, вона ото і документи навіть не схватила, вискочила, тут в городі сиділа. А Кошки, собаки, де вони? Згоріли.
Let's bring you this breaking news. According to reports, the moon has been sighted in the north, which actually brings about the celebration of Eid al-Fitr. Of course, we have details that tomorrow is Eid and the moon has officially been sighted. We're hoping to get more details probably tomorrow about this celebration. Let's now join our business team for today's updates.
In business, the Nigerian stock market recorded a 3.49 trillion naira gain in the first quarter of 2025, driven by investor reactions to 2024 corporate earnings and ongoing banking sector reforms. The market capitalization rose from 62.76 trillion naira at the end of 2024 to 66.26 trillion naira by March 28, 2025, marking a 5.6% increase. January saw a 1.95 trillion naira gain due to cautious trading, while February recorded a stronger 2.48 trillion naira rise. However, March witnessed a 936 billion naira decline as investors turned to money market instruments. The NGX All-Share Index climbed 2.66% in the first quarter of 2025, closing at 105,660.64 points. Analysts attribute the overall market rally to the Central Bank of Nigeria's banking recapitalization policy and broader economic reforms. Nigeria's crude oil market is facing sluggish demand as European buyers turn to cheaper alternatives like US WTI and Caspian CPC blend. This is according to a report by Argus Media. As of late March up to 15 April, loading Nigerian cargoes remained unsold. Despite this, Nigeria is expanding its crude offerings with the launch of Obodo, a new medium sweet crude grade set to hit the market in April. Obodo has a 27.65 degree API gravity and 0.05% sulfur content. This addition follows the restart of Utapate crude in 2024 and the launch of Nembe in 2023, reinforcing Nigeria's presence in the European market despite rising competition from other oil-producing regions. And still in Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has signed the Investment and Securities Act 2024 into law, replacing the 2007 Act and ushering in key reforms to strengthen Nigeria's capital market. The Act classifies exchanges into composite and non-composite categories, regulates financial market infrastructures, and formally recognizes digital assets as securities under SEC oversight. It introduces a legal framework for commodity exchanges and warehouse receipts, boosting agriculture, mining, and industrial finance. The Act also grants subnational governments greater flexibility to raise capital and enforces stricter penalties for Ponzi schemes and fraudulent schemes. Other provisions enhance transparency through legal entity identifiers and empower the SEC to monitor systemic financial risks. Additionally, it strengthens the Investments and Securities Tribunal to improve dispute resolution efficiency. And finally, President Trump is pushing for escalated tariffs, reigniting trade war concerns. The Washington Post reports. Despite opposition from Wall Street and Capitol Hill, Trump is advocating for sweeping trade measures, including a universal tariff on most imports. He has reportedly expressed regret over not implementing broader tariffs earlier during his first term, and blames advisors for persuading him to scale back. While it is unclear how seriously the proposal is being considered, the White House has yet to comment. And that's our offering on business news at this time. Thank you for watching. I am Perpetua Fasami Peter. The news continues shortly.
Up next is sports news.
In sports, Christina Ochonogo made her outdoor NCAA debut for Tarleton State, landing a mark of 6.48 meters on her second attempt in the women's long jump at the Texas Relays. Ochonogo's leap put her just 1 centimeter behind event winner Jasmine Atkins, who narrowly claimed victory with a jump of 6.49 meters. With the result, Ochonogo has now set the new long jump school record in her Texas relays debut. Ghana defender Alidu Seidu has extended his contract at Stade Rennes, prolonging his stay with the Ligue 1 side until 2029. Seidu has been in form for Rennes until a knee injury sent him into the treatment room, limiting his playing time. Since joining Rennes 14 months ago, during the winter transfer window, Seidu has emerged as a crucial member of the squad. His ability to play right back, left back, or as a centre back has earned him a coveted status. Despite his struggles, Seidu remains confident of coming into a better shape through hard work. Rennes management has shown total confidence in Seidu's ability and temperament. Arnold Pooley, executive chairman and CEO of Rennes, was delighted to confirm the extension. After securing the right to host the 2030 FIFA World Cup, Portugal, Morocco and Spain have submitted a bid to stage another World Cup. The three nations set to jointly host the men's tournament in 2030 following the 2026 edition in Canada, Mexico and the United States are now aiming to organize the 2035 FIFA Women's World Cup. Spanish Football Federation President Rafael Lozatin confirmed on Saturday that discussions have been finalized for the joint bid. Leroy Sané spared Bayern Munich's blushes with 2 second-half goals as the Bundesliga leaders beat relegation-threatened St. Pauli 3-2 to stay 6 points clear at the top of the table. Sané settled Bayern's nerves after an uneasy first half as Vincent Kompany's side struggled once again against weaker opposition. Bayern were under pressure to avoid the third sleep after reigning champions Bayer Leverkusen narrowed the gap to 3 points with a 3-1 win over Bochum on Friday. A Spanish appeals court has overturned former Brazil international footballer Dani Alves' rape conviction, citing insufficient evidence. Alves was sentenced to 4.5 years in jail in February last year for raping a young woman in the VIP bathroom of a Barcelona nightclub on the 31st of December 2022. The 41-year-old, who won the Champions League 3 times with Barcelona, was released from jail last March, pending his appeal after he posted the €1 million bail set by the court. The Barcelona-based appeals court said its 4 judges had unanimously accepted the player's appeal and annulled his conviction, saying there was insufficient evidence to prove he was guilty. The ruling can still be appealed to the Supreme Court. And that's a wrap on Sport Updates. I am Udoka Njoku.
Well, before we bring you the headlines to end the news, let's remind you that the new moon of Shawwal 1446 has been sighted. Sultan of Sokoto and President General of the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Alhaji Mohammed Sahad Abubakar, announced this late on Saturday. According to the Sultan, in a statement, with the sighting of the moon, Sunday, March 30, 2025 will be the first of Shawwal 1446 AH, marking the day for the Eid celebration. Now, he congratulated Muslims on the successful completion of the Ramadan fast, urging them to sustain the virtues of patience, piety, and charity beyond the holy month. Saudi Arabia had earlier confirmed the sighting of the moon. And that ends the news at this hour. But before we go, we'll look at our top stories again. Islamic movement in Nigeria has accused security forces of human rights violations during its procession. President Tinubu has received the Prime Minister of St. Kitts at the State House in Abuja. We also told you that a Kenyan UN soldier has been killed in an ambush in southeastern Central African Republic. Or you can send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV, and you can watch us live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV, channel 23, Star Times, channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Lekon Onobanjo.